What's up guys, edrone here, and today we're going to be configuring in Betaflight our Budget Basher race drone in part 4 of our programming series. Stay tuned. We've already flashed the newest version of Betaflight to the quadcopter, and I'll put a link up in the corner to a video showing you how to flash your firmware. And now what we need to do is go in our configuration tab and get some things set up on this quadcopter. I'm going to go ahead and reset the Z-axis. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and calibrate the accelerometer. When I move the quad, it should move in the direction that I'm moving it, and it is. First thing you're going to want to do to configure the Budget Basher with the Holy Bro Kakute is go down to your Ports tab. Now, we are actually using FrSky Smart Port. So what we're going to do is we have the UART1 and the telemetry output set to Smart Port, so that's right. And then on UART3 we have Serial RX turned on, and that's how we want to do if you're running FrSky, which is what we're running, the FrSky RXSR. And never ever turn this off, because then you'll have to reflash and it's just a pain, so never turn that off. Next thing we need to do is down here on UART6 under peripherals, we need to check this box and turn on the smart audio. That way we can have communication between our VTX and our transmitter, so we can change our VTX settings and our OSD of our goggles. So we're done in the Ports tab. Everything looks good here. We'll go to the Configuration tab now. You can see we're going to run D-Shot 1200 motor stop. We're going to leave this off because I want the motors to spin when the quad's armed. We're going to leave the motor idle throttle value the same for now. We are running reversed props, so we're going to go ahead and check that. I'll put a link up here to that video showing you how to do that if you want to run reverse props in BL Heli 32 or BL Heli, depending on your ESCs. Now here we go. Our CPU load right now is at 7%. We're going to turn the barometer off. We're going to turn the magnetometer off. And we're going to leave the accelerometer on. This board will run 32 kilohertz. So let's see what happens if we turn on 32 kilohertz with an 8 kilohertz PID loop. Now we have our arming here, which we're going to come back to that in a minute. We're going to change our craft name to the F2 Mito. That's the name of this frame. F2 Mito. Okay. We have serial base receiver checked here with S-Bus. That is correct. We want our telemetry turned on. We want our OSD turned on. We want to permanently enable air mode. This is going to make the quadcopter handle a lot better when we're low throttling, and want ESC sensor turned on because we do have ESC telemetry with our 32-bit ESCs. We're going to leave anti-gravity turned on, and we're going to leave the dynamic filter turned on as well. Everything else looks good in there. Scroll on down. We can do a D-Shot beacon. We're going to do beep when auxiliary channel is set. We're going to do beeps when TX is turned off or signal lost. Yeah, we'll do that. That will help if we lose signal and the quad goes down somewhere, and the ESCs will beep as long as the battery's plugged in. And then we have our beeper configuration here, which is everything's turned on at this point. I'm going to turn all of these off except for RX lost landing and RX lost. We're going to leave the battery on. That way when the battery's low it will beep. Okay. I'm going to leave RX set for the beeper to go off with a switch. We're going to get into setting switches up in a different video. That pretty much does it for the configuration part. So we're going to hit save and reboot. Sometimes you got to do it a couple times. I'm not sure why. Okay, so right away you can see our CPU load is at 54%. That is way too high. So we're going to have to go back to configuration. Let's go to the ports tab. Now you could turn the accelerometer off. That would save a decent amount of cycle CPU load. But I like to leave my accelerometer on because if I run into trouble in acro mode, I can just kind of flip into stabilization mode, kind of almost like a, you know, like a little fail-safe. Save your quad if you get disoriented or lose your orientation. So the ports, everything looks good there. Go back to configuration tab. Run D-Shot 1200. So let's just run. Let's do 16 and 8. 16 and 4. Can we do 16 and 8? See what that does. Alright, that's a lot better. Now we are down to 23%. I feel comfortable with 23%. So go to the configuration tab again, just going to double check. And we are running 16K gyro update with 8 kilohertz PID loop frequency. So our maximum arming angle right now, default, is set to 25 degrees. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change this to 180 degrees. Now the reason I'm going to do this is if my quad ever gets stuck in a tree or if it's upside down, I will still be able to arm the quad without having to kind of reset the accelerometer. The only bad thing about this is if I have the quad, I'm holding it in my hand with the battery plugged in, and I accidentally hit the switch on my transmitter, the quad will arm, and I do run the risk of cutting my hands. However, most of the time when I'm carrying my quad, I do not have the battery plugged in. So I always unplug my battery when I'm carrying the quad. And that pretty much does it for the configuration part of this. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And in the next upcoming programming videos, we'll be setting up the OSD as well as setting up the switches to get this baby ready for her maiden flight. Till next time, guys, edrone out.